The arrival. The sky above the desert was quiet. No wind, no sound, just heat and stillness. Then, something broke the silence. A dark shadow moved across the sand. Slow, powerful, massive. It wasn't a bird. It wasn't a plane. It was something else. A giant alien ship shaped like a black spear floated down from the sky. It made no noise, but the ground shook. The ship landed in a hidden base far from any city. Soldiers in silver armor stood around it. They didn't speak. They didn't blink. Inside the ship, the queen waited. Queen Zerala, ruler of planet Xeron. She was beautiful, tall and cold. Her skin was like silver glass and her eyes were purple flames. Everyone feared her, even her own people. She had come to Earth not for peace, but for control. Humans had lost the war. The aliens never used guns. They used mind control, energy weapons, and machines smarter than any human. Now Earth was quiet, broken, and under alien rule. But Queen Zerala wanted more. She wanted to build her throne here. As she stepped out of the ship, the soldiers bowed. A human general, working for the aliens, rushed to her. "Your Majesty," he said, looking down. "Welcome to Earth." She didn't reply. She just walked past him. Inside the base, everything was clean and cold. Her room was large, filled with alien lights and moving walls, but she didn't look at any of it. "Bring me a personal guard," she said, her voice like ice. "A human." The general paused. Human, Your Majesty?" "Yes," she said. "Someone quiet. Someone who doesn't speak unless spoken to." The general nodded and left. A few hours later, the guard arrived. His name was Liam. He was young with messy dark hair and soft eyes. He looked nervous but didn't speak. He didn't salute. He just stood there. Zerala turned and looked at him. He looked small, weak, human. But he didn't bow. He didn't even look at her properly. "You are not afraid of me?" she asked. Liam looked up for a moment. "Should I be?" he said softly. Zerala narrowed her eyes. "Most are." He didn't reply. For a second she felt confused. Usually humans begged for mercy. They feared her. They stared. But this one didn't. "You will guard my chamber. Stand outside. Speak only when I ask. Do you understand?" "Yes," he said quietly. Days passed. Zerala barely noticed him. He stood at the same spot every day. Never moved. Never stared at her. Never spoke. He was like a shadow. But something strange started to happen. At night, when she sat alone in her room, she heard a sound, a soft humming, music. She followed the sound once. It came from outside her door. Liam was humming, just a small tune, an old Earth song, a sad one. Zerala didn't know why, but her chest felt tight. The next night, she waited. Again, the humming came. "What song is that?" she asked suddenly. Liam jumped, surprised. He turned. "Sorry, Your Majesty. I didn't mean—" "I asked a question," she said. "It's a lullaby." "From Earth," he said. "Lullaby. Something we sing to children, to help them sleep." "Why would children need help to sleep?" He smiled just a little. "Because sometimes they're scared." Zerala didn't reply. Her eyes stayed on him for a long time. The next day, she asked again. "What is fear to humans?" Liam thought. For a second. "It's what we feel. When we know something can hurt us. Or when we lose someone." Zerala said nothing, but that night she couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about his words. When we lose someone, she remembered her brother, dead in the Xeron Wars, the only one she had ever trusted. She had forgotten that pain long ago, but now it returned. The day after, she watched Liam from a distance. He was helping a soldier carry a box. Something about the way he moved. Calm, silent, steady, made her stop. She was used to power, to fear, to control. But Liam was none of those things. And still, he had something she didn't understand. Something she wanted to understand. Voice spoke in her mind. It was the alien network, her commanders. Queen Zirala, remember your mission. Rule Earth. Do not get distracted. But it was too late. She was already distracted, and something deep inside her, something buried for years, had started to wake up. The guard who doesn't fear Queen Zirala sat in silence. The room was filled with light, alien light that changed color based on her mood. Right now it pulsed cold blue, cold like her thoughts. For the first time in years, her mind was not on power, war, or victory. It was on a human, the guard named Liam. Why? She didn't understand it herself. He was not strong. He was not clever. He didn't speak much. But something about him stayed in her mind like a shadow that wouldn't go away, and worst of all, he wasn't afraid of her. That was dangerous. That night she called him into her chamber. He walked in without fear, head low but eyes calm. "Come closer," she said. Liam obeyed. She looked him up and down. "Do you know who I am?" "Yes," he replied. "Then why do you never look scared?" He took a deep breath. "Because I've already seen the worst." She tilted her head slightly. "Explain." Liam hesitated. He looked at the floor. "You took my city," he said quietly. "I was there when your ships landed. I saw people running, screaming. I saw machines burning homes. And I saw my sister. She was only 9. He stopped. Zirala didn't interrupt. Her purple eyes watched his face carefully. "She was scared," he continued. "I tried to protect her, but I couldn't. One of your soldiers pushed me away. I never saw her again." Silence. Zirala's voice was softer now. "And yet, you serve me." He looked at her for the first time. "I serve so I can survive. Not because I respect you." The room felt heavy. Zirala stared at him for a long moment. Her hands curled into fists, but not in anger, in confusion. No one had ever spoken to her like that. Not even her own generals. Was it bravery or something else? Maybe pain. "Leave," she said suddenly. Liam turned and walked away. But as he left, she noticed something. She felt something. She respected him. That night, Zirala had a dream, the first in many years. In it, she saw a little girl with dark hair running through fire. The girl turned and called out, "Liam!" Then Zirala woke up, heart beating fast. She touched her chest. What is this feeling? Her people didn't dream. Not since childhood. Was the human affecting her mind? She stood up and looked at the mirror. Her face was the same. Cold, perfect, powerful. But behind the eyes, something was different. She activated her chamber wall and watched Liam through the cameras. He was alone, sitting outside, looking at the stars. He hummed that same sad song again. Zirala turned off the screen quickly. The next day, she received a secret transmission. It was from High Commander Varnock, a cruel, loyal soldier of the Alien Council. "My queen," his voice came through. "We sense disturbance in your thought patterns. Is Earth control complete?" Zirala answered with sharp confidence. "Earth is under control. The humans are broken." There was a pause. Varnock's voice turned darker. "You are not to grow. Attached. Emotion is a weakness. The Council watches everything." The message ended. Zirala stood still for a moment. Then she crushed the small communicator in her hand. Later that day, she was walking through the human quarters of the base. A child cried in the corner. A woman sat in silence. No one looked her in the eyes, but Liam did from a distance, just for a second. And again. No fear. She called for him that evening. He entered quietly, expecting orders. "Why did you look at me like that today?" she asked. Liam didn't lie. "Because I don't think you're as cold as you pretend to be." Zyrilla felt like lightning hit her brain. She stood up fast. "Be careful, guard. You are speaking to a queen." Liam didn't. "Step back. Then why am I still alive?" Silence again. Zyrilla stared at him. He stared back. There was power in that silence. More than weapons, more than fire. Something was changing, and not just in her. That night, General Solvek, one of Zyralla's most trusted alien warriors, entered a hidden chamber. He activated a secure line. "High Commander," he whispered, "it's true. The Queen is losing focus. The human is a weakness." A cold voice replied, "Then we will remove the weakness. And the Queen." Meanwhile, Liam sat on the edge of his bed. He took out a small photo. It was his sister, smiling, holding a toy cat. He didn't cry. He had no tears left, but he whispered something. "I don't know who you are, Queen Zyralla, but I think you're not just here to rule." He didn't know someone was listening through the wall. Zyralla, and for the first time, her heart ached. Forbidden curiosity. Rain fell softly on the metal roof of the alien base. It hadn't rained in weeks. Earth's weather had changed since the invasion. The clouds moved like they were afraid. The winds whispered names that no one remembered anymore. But tonight it rained. Soft. Sad. Like someone above was crying. Queen Zyrilla stood near the window, watching the drops slide down the glass. Her eyes were quiet. Thoughtful. She had once burned cities without blinking. Now she watched water fall from the sky. And felt something. She didn't like it. She didn't understand it. She wanted to. Liam stood outside her chamber, silent as always. Rain wet his shoulders, but he didn't move. He didn't complain. He didn't ask for shelter. Zyralla opened the door. "You'll catch a cold," she said flatly. "I'm fine," he replied. She stepped aside. "Come in." He hesitated for the first time. "Are you sure?" "I don't repeat myself." Liam entered the Queen's chamber. It was warm. The walls glowed with soft violet light. Strange alien plants hung in the corners, breathing slowly like living creatures. Zyralla sat on a floating chair. "Sit," she said. He looked around. "There's no chair," she raised an eyebrow. A piece of the floor moved, shaped itself into a seat. He sat down carefully. There was silence between them. Then she asked, "Why do humans love music?" He blinked. "That's, random." "Answer," he thought. "Because music says things we can't." Zyrilla nodded slowly. "And why do you still carry the photo?" she asked. Liam's face changed. "You watch me? I am your queen. I watch everything." He looked down. "It's my sister. She's gone." Zyralla leaned forward. "You dream about her, don't you?" Liam didn't reply, but she already knew the answer. That night, in the alien high chamber far above Earth, Commander Varnock received the report from General Solvek. "She brought the human into her personal space," Solvek said. "They talk, they connect. She's not thinking like a ruler anymore." Varnock growled. "Then she is no longer fit to rule." "What should we do?" Solvek asked. "We prepare the replacement. A queen without emotion. A weapon with a crown. And the human, kill him. Quietly." Back on Earth, Zyralla walked through the garden dome alone. It was artificial. Fake sunlight, fake birds, fake trees. But it was quiet. She needed quiet now. She heard footsteps. "Liam, you followed me?" she asked. "No," he said. "I was already here." She looked at him strangely. "You're everywhere, aren't you?" He smiled a little. "Maybe you just keep noticing." They walked in silence. Then Zyralla stopped. "Tell me something," she said. "Do you hate me?" Liam looked surprised. "I hated what you did," he said. "But hate, it burns too long. It eats you. So, no, I don't hate you." Zyralla, felt something shift inside her chest. Pain? Guilt? She didn't know. "You shouldn't be kind to me," she said. "I'm not kind," he replied. "I'm honest." In a nearby room, Solveig watched their conversation through a hidden drone. His hands tightened into fists. "They're too close," he whispered. He sent a message. "Target the human tonight." That night, Zyrala walked back to her chamber. Something felt wrong. She tapped her wrist on the security screen lit up. Liam was gone. She called for him. No answer. Her heart beat faster. "Show me outside chamber 6, she commanded the system. The camera blinked on. 3 alien soldiers dragged Liam into a black hallway. He was struggling, blood on his face. "No," she whispered. Without a second thought, Zyrala ran. Her guards shouted, "Your Majesty, wait." But she didn't stop. She moved like lightning, silent, deadly. She found them in the hallway. The soldiers didn't even see her coming. She raised her hand. A purple blast of energy knocked them to the walls. Liam dropped to the floor. "Liam," she said, kneeling. His eyes were open, barely. "You came," he whispered. "Don't speak," she said. "You're safe now." He smiled a little. "You care." And then he passed out. Later in the healing chamber, Zyrala sat beside him. She had no words, only silence. She looked at his face, the bruises, the blood, and something inside her broke. At the same time, far above, Varnock received the final report. "She saved him," Solveig said. Varnock's voice was pure ice. "Then she has chosen emotion over control. That is treason. Do we take her out? No. Let her fall deeper. Let her betray herself. When the time is right, we strike." Zyrala didn't sleep that night. She stayed beside Liam, watching him breathe. He had nothing. No army, no weapons, no power. And yet, he was stronger than anyone she had ever known. She touched his hand gently. "I don't understand you, human," she whispered, "but I can't stop thinking about you." The rebellion within darkness hung over the alien base like a heavy blanket. Inside, the medical chamber, Liam opened his eyes slowly. His body hurt, his mind foggy. The ceiling above him glowed soft white, alien lights that never turned off. He was alive, barely, and sitting beside him was her queen Zyrala. Her expression was unreadable, calm, cold. Yet her eyes, those burning violet eyes, were not the same as before. They had changed. "You're awake," she said quietly. Liam blinked. "Why did you save me?" Zyrala stood and walked to the window. "I don't know," she said. "But I couldn't let you die." Liam sat up slowly, pain in every movement. "They were your soldiers." "I did not give that order," she replied. "Someone wants you gone." He looked at her carefully. "Then someone wants you weak." Zyrala didn't answer, because it was true. Far above Earth, on the command ship Oblivion, High Commander Varnock stood in a room made of black crystal. Around him were the eyes of Xeron, watchers, judges, executioners, all silent, all deadly. "Kyati." "Queen has failed," Varnock said. "She is emotionally compromised." One of the watchers asked, "Is the replacement ready?" "Yes," Varnock replied. "Project Syra 9, a perfect copy, no feelings, no failure." "And the real queen?" "Let her break herself," Varnock said. "Let the human be the knife." Back on Earth, Liam was recovering fast. Zyrala allowed him more freedom, something no other human had. He walked the garden dome. He trained alone. He listened to music. And slowly, others noticed. Alien soldiers whispered, "The queen is too close to the human." Human workers stared, confused. Why is she protecting him? But neither Liam nor Zyrala cared, because something was growing, something dangerous, something powerful. One night, While walking near the edge of the base, Liam heard a sound. A soft knock. 3 times. Pause. Then 2 knocks. He turned. A shadow stepped out from behind the wall. A woman covered in dust, eyes sharp. "Liam," she whispered. "You're alive." He froze. "Elena." She nodded. "We thought you were dead." She was part of the resistance, a hidden human group that never stopped fighting, even after Earth lost. "I don't have much time," she said. "We're planning to strike soon. We need your help." Liam stepped back. "You don't understand. I'm close to her." "The alien queen?" Elena snapped. "She's the reason we lost everything." "She's not what you think. She's an invader," Elena said. "And you're supposed to be a soldier, not her pet." Liam's voice turned cold. "She saved my life." Elena stared. "And you think that makes her innocent?" He couldn't answer. She leaned close. "She may care about you. Use that. Find out their plans. Be our inside man." Then, she vanished into the dark. The next morning, Zayrala found Liam standing in the training hall, sword in hand, eyes distant. "You met someone last night," she said. He turned slowly. "You're spying on me again?" "I am protecting you," she said. He looked at her hard. "Or are you protecting yourself?" Zayrala didn't flinch, but something in her chest twisted. "You're right," she said. "I don't trust anyone here, not even myself." She walked closer. "But I trust you." That was the first time she had ever said those words, and it scared both of them. Later that day, deep in the base, General Solvek met with a secret squad. "They're too close now," he growled. "Tonight, we test her loyalty." He handed them a device in a small cube, pulsing with red light. "This will explode near the energy core. Let's see who she saves, the base or the boy." That night, Liam stood alone in the garden. Zayrala joined him. "Earth was beautiful once," he said. "Before all this." She nodded. "I've seen it in your memories." He turned to her. "Then why did you destroy it?" She didn't answer. Instead, she reached into her sleeve and handed him a small metal pin, a symbol of the Xeron throne. "Want you to have this," she said. Liam stared at it. "Why?" "Because I'm tired of being alone," she whispered. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the dome. Red lights flashed. Alarm screamed. "Boom, boom, boom, emergency core breach," a voice shouted. "Immediate lockdown." Zayrala turned to Liam. "Stay here," she ordered. "No," he said. "You'll be killed." But she was already gone. Inside the energy core chamber, fire roared. Zayrala ran straight into it. Soldiers screamed, walls cracked. The power grid collapsed, and in the center, the bomb. She reached it just in time. Her fingers glowed with violet energy. She froze the core, slowed time, and with a final breath crushed the bomb in her hand. Everything went still. Her skin cracked, her legs gave way. She collapsed. Hours later, Liam found her in the med chamber. She was barely breathing. "You risked everything," he whispered. Her eyes opened weakly. "For you," she said. Tears filled his eyes. "I don't know what this is between us," he said, "but it's real." Zayrala smiled faintly. I believe you." But outside, in the deepest dark of space, Sierra 9 opened her eyes for the first time. She looked exactly like Zayrala, but she had no heart, no doubts, and no mercy. Escape plan. The storm had finally begun. Inside the alien base, everything was quiet on the surface. Soldiers moved like machines. Lights blinked in perfect rhythm. Orders were followed, but underneath that silence, a war was waiting, and Zayrala felt it in her bones. She stood in the center of the command hall, surrounded by high-ranking alien officers. Her body still ached from stopping the core explosion. Her skin bore faint cracks where the energy had burned her. But her eyes were sharper than ever. She knew the explosion wasn't an accident. Someone inside had tried to kill her, and they had failed. Now she wanted answers. "Show me the footage," she said coldly. The screen lit up. Cameras showed soldiers sneaking into the power chamber. One of them turned and removed their helmet. General Solvek Zyrala's jaw tightened. Her most trusted officer? Her betrayer? The room was dead silent. "Bring him to me," she said. "Alive." Meanwhile, Liam sat in his quarters, fingers trembling. Elena's voice echoed in his head. Use her. Get her secrets. Help the resistance. But how could he? She had almost died saving the base, saving him. Still, he had to choose, and quickly. Suddenly his door opened. A blade touched his neck. "Elena," he whispered. She stepped in, face covered, eyes cold. Behind her, 2 rebels. "You took too long," she said. "They trust you now. So do it. Tonight." "Do what?" he asked. She pulled out a data chip. "Put this in the Queen's console. It'll shut down their weapons for 5 minutes, just enough for us to attack." Liam stared at it. "I can't," he said. "You already did," she replied. "You're one of us. Or did you fall for her lies?" Liam closed his eyes. "She's not what we thought." "She's still one of them," Elena snapped. "Choose, Liam, humanity or her." She dropped the chip at his feet and disappeared. In the tower above, Zyrala stood before Solvek, now chained and silent. She looked into his eyes. "Why?" He didn't flinch. "Because you forgot who you are. I am your queen." "You were," he said. "Now you're just a shadow of a human." Zyrala stepped back, her face unreadable. Then she whispered, "Then I have no more use for you." She turned around and gave the signal. The guards dragged him away, but the words stayed in her mind. "You forgot who you are." Was it true? Later that night, Zyrala walked into her chamber. Liam was already inside, waiting. "You sent for me?" he asked. She nodded. He stepped closer. He wanted to tell her. About Elena, about the chip, about everything. But when he looked into her face, tired, strong, lonely, the words wouldn't come. Instead, she asked him something else. "Would you leave Earth if I asked you to?" He blinked. "What?" "I can protect you," she said, "if you come with me. To my planet, to Xeron." Liam was speechless. "You don't belong here," she said. "They'll kill you, my people, your people, everyone." "You'd leave your throne?" he asked. "For you?" She stepped closer. "I might." Their hands almost touched. But just then, an alarm screamed, "Intruder alert." Zyrala turned sharply. "What now?" Screens lit up. A breach. Small rebel team. Inside the base. Zyrala's guards moved fast, but Liam stood frozen. He knew. He hadn't even used the chip, but the rebels had attacked anyway. Zyrala ran toward the control room. Liam followed. On the way, they passed fallen soldiers, alien and human. Smoke filled the corridors. Then came the voice. "Elena," Zyrala hissed. She appeared at the far end of the hall, holding a plasma blade surrounded by rebels, and she had a hostage. Zyrala stopped. It was one of her science officers, barely breathing, blade at his throat. "Stand down, Queen," Elena said, "or we take the whole base." Zyrala raised her hand. Her body glowed with violet energy. Elena smiled. "Do it. Prove you're still one of them." Liam stepped in front of Zyrala. "Don't," he said. "There's another way," Zyrala whispered. "Move, Liam." "No," he said. "If you kill her, they'll never stop." Zyrala lowered her hand, and in that moment the rebels attacked. Everything exploded. Zyrala grabbed Liam and ran. They rushed through tunnels under the base. Old escape routes even her commanders had. Forgotten. Behind them chaos, gunfire, screams. "We have to go," she said. "Where?" Liam asked. She opened a hidden door. "To a place no one can find us." Above, the clone, Syra 9, landed on Earth. Her face was identical to Zirala's, but her heart, cold, empty. Perfect. She walked through the ruined corridor of the base. Message from Varnock played in her mind. Find the original. Erase her. Erase the human. Take back the crown. She said nothing, just smiled. Deep in the desert, Zirala and Liam stood beside a hidden ship. Wounded, tired, alone. Zirala looked at the stars. I gave up everything, she said. For one human. Liam looked at her. And I'm not worth it, he said, but she touched his hand. You are, she whispered, but in the stars above, something was coming. Something wearing her face. Something without mercy. War and truth, the stars above Earth burned cold. In the black sky, two ships moved, one visible, one silent. One carried a queen with a heart, the other, a queen without one. Below, far from cities and alien bases, Queen Zirala stood beside a small fire. Her body was bruised. Her powers were weak. Her throne was lost. Beside her sat Liam, silent, thoughtful. They had escaped, but peace had not followed. Zirala stared into the flames. Everything I believed. It's falling apart, she said. Liam looked at her. You still have a choice. To stop this. I tried, she said. But I was made for conquest, for war. My creators never wanted me to feel anything. Liam frowned. What do you mean, made? Zirala was quiet. Then, for the first time, she spoke the truth. I'm not like others of my kind, she whispered. I wasn't born, I was designed. Liam's heart skipped. Designed? He asked. She nodded. I'm not a ruler. I'm a weapon. The first of the Syra models. Project Syra 1. Liam stepped back, shocked. You're one of them? No, she said quickly. I was the first, but I broke the code. I changed. I learned to feel. That's why they want to replace me. With what? Zirala looked up at the sky. With her. High above Earth, Syra 9 floated in the skies like a phantom. Her ship made no noise. It needed no army. She was the army. She wore Zirala's face, her voice, her smile. But inside, nothing, only the mission. Meanwhile, Liam sat on a metal crate holding the symbol Zirala had given him, the mark of her throne. You're not a weapon, he said. You saved lives. You stopped the bomb. You saved me. I wasn't programmed to, she replied. Then maybe you're not what they made you. Zirala looked at him. Then what am I? He smiled gently. Human enough. Suddenly a signal cracked through their camp. A secret broadcast. From the human resistance. Zirala turned to the screen. A young woman appeared. Elena. Her face was bloodied. Behind her, smoke and fire. This is a warning, she said. They're not coming. They're already here. Something is hunting both humans and aliens. Zirala froze. Syra 9, she whispered. She's begun. In the next hour, 3 alien outposts vanished. No explosions, no survivors, no sound, just ash, and a glowing message carved into the ground. The Queen is obsolete. Zirala and Liam reached the last safe bunker of the resistance. People stared as she entered. Mothers pulled children back. Soldiers raised weapons. She's the reason we suffer, one man shouted. She betrayed her own, another screamed. Liam stepped in front of her. She saved me. She risked her life for humans. She's not our enemy. Elena appeared. Then who is? Zirala stepped forward. Syra 9, she said. A clone, made to replace me. No emotion, no limit. Elena didn't trust her, but the fear in her eyes was real. What does it want, she asked. To wipe us all out, Zirala said. Not just humans, every living thing on this planet. At that moment, Syra 9 landed, not with fire, not with ships, but with silence. She walked through the ruins of an old alien base, One by one, the remaining Zeroni soldiers turned to her and dropped dead without a sound. Her presence alone killed. She whispered one word to the wind. Reset. Inside the resistance base, alarms rang. Zerala knew. She's found us. Liam grabbed his gear. Then we fight. You can't fight her, Zerala said. She's me, without a heart, without weakness, without fear. Elena stepped forward. Then what do we do? Zerala looked around. We run, but not to hide. To finish this. She activated a map, a hidden lab, deep in the mountains. That's where I was created, and that's where she can be stopped. The journey was brutal. Storms hit them, drones hunted them, people were lost. But Zerala never stopped. Not this time. Finally, they reached it. Site 0, the original creation lab of the Syra project. The walls were black metal, cold, buried under the mountain. Inside, ancient machines whispered. Zerala touched a console. It recognized her. And then showed everything. Videos, logs, memories. Liam watched in shock. Tiny alien engineers discussing her. Emotion was unexpected. She asks questions. That's dangerous. Next version, remove soul. Zerala turned away. I was never meant to think or love. I was just a test. Liam stepped close. But you broke the rules. You became real. A screen lit up. Syra 9 was coming. Minutes later, she arrived. The door blew open, and there she stood. Zerala's perfect clone, same face, same voice. But when she spoke, her words were ice. Emotion, deleted. Love, deleted. Mission, complete. Zerala stepped forward. I'm not afraid of you. You should be, Syra 9 said. And then, she struck. The battle was like nothing Liam had ever seen. Zerala moved with passion, rage, pain. Syra 9 moved like a ghost, cold, fast, flawless. They shattered walls, burned the air, crushed the ground, but Syra 9 was winning. Liam watched helplessly as Zerala fell, her powers fading. Syra 9 raised her hand for the final strike, and then Liam did something insane. He stepped between them. No, he said. Syra 9 stopped. Why protect her? She asked. Because she became more than you ever will, he said. Syra 9 scanned him. Weak, illogical, useless. But she loves me, he said, and that makes her stronger than you. Zerala, weak and bleeding, whispered, You don't understand love. Syra 9 raised her hand again, but this time, she paused. Error. Glitch. Emotion detected. And in that pause, Zerala struck. One final blast, and the clone shattered. The war was over, but the damage was deep. Zerala collapsed. Liam caught her. Don't go, he said. I'm tired, she whispered. He held her close. You're not just a queen. You're the best of both worlds. Her eyes closed, but her chest still moved. Still alive. The queen's choice. The war was over, but the silence that followed was louder. Zerala lay still in the resistance infirmary, her body covered in burns, her powers dimmed to a flicker. Outside, the bunker was crowded with soldiers, refugees, scientists, humans and Zeroni, both exhausted and watching one another with wide, tired eyes. News had already spread. The Queen fought for Earth. She destroyed her own clone. She saved the resistance. But trust was not so easy. Liam sat by her side, fingers wrapped gently around hers. She's still breathing, he whispered to the medic. She's strong. The medic nodded. But she won't wake. Up until she wants to, Liam understood. Zerala wasn't just healing her body. She was fighting something deeper inside, something only she could face. The question of who she truly was. Above Earth, in orbit, the Council ship Eternum arrived. Sharp, cold, blinding white light. Inside, The alien High Council gathered, 12 beings with faces hidden behind masks of glass and gold. At the center stood High Commander Varnock, unshaken by Sirenine's failure. "She has betrayed her design," he said. "She aligned with the enemy. She destroyed Council property. She must answer for her crimes." The others agreed in silence. And so, the summons was sent. On Earth, the message came like thunder. Zyrella must return. A trial will be held. Judgment awaits. Elena read the message aloud. "She can't go alone," she said. Liam stood. "Then I'll go with her." By nightfall, Zyrella awoke. She opened her eyes to find Liam asleep in the chair beside her. For a moment, she just looked at him. And then she whispered, "I dreamed of silence." He stirred. "You've been quiet for 3 days." "I needed time," she said, "to listen to myself." "What did you hear?" She took his hand. "That I am not a weapon, not anymore." The next day they rose into space. The council arena was a ring of floating metal in a sea of black stars. It wasn't a courtroom. It was a coliseum of judgment. Zyrella stood in the center, surrounded by the council above and thousands of alien witnesses. Beside her, Liam. High Commander Varnock's voice echoed. "You were designed to conquer," said. "You chose to feel. You fell in love with the enemy. You are no longer one of us." Zyrella stepped forward, her voice steady. "No, I became more than what you made. You betrayed your function. I broke free from it. You are dangerous. I am different." The council turned to each other, whispering. Then Varnock made the final offer. "Return to Xeron, under our control, or be erased." Liam, tensed, Zyrella, closed her eyes and made her choice. She stepped forward, stood tall and said, "I will not return to a system that fears evolution. I am not your soldier. I am not your queen. I am mine." "You would choose exile?" Varnock asked. "No," she said. "I choose Earth." Gasps rang out. "You will never be safe," the council warned. Zyrella turned to Liam. He reached for her hand. She took it without hesitation. "I don't want to be safe," she said. "I want to be free." The council paused. Then, one by one, the watchers turned off their lights. Not approval, not rejection, just silence. Which meant they let her go. Varnock's face twisted. "She'll come to regret this," he said. But no one answered, because the Queen had already left. Back on Earth, a new dawn rose. Humans rebuilt. Zeroni refugees helped. The sky was no longer full of ships, but birds. Real ones. In a small field near the ruins of the old base, Zyrella stood planting a tree. Her hands were dirty, her skin was scarred, but her eyes were alive. Liam brought her a cup of water. "You never saw Earth like this before, did you?" he asked. "I never saw anything," she replied, "until I saw it with you." They sat together under the open sky, and for the first time in her entire existence, Queen Zyrella smiled. Not for duty, not for power, for love. Epilogue. Far beyond Earth, in the frozen heart of the Xeron system, Varnock stood before a new chamber. Inside it floated 10 more clones. Psi-Ray 10, Psi-Ray 11, and beyond. "Emotion was the flaw," he said. "Next time we fix it." But a scientist whispered behind him, "Or, next time love will fix us, the end."